Hello, everybody. You are listening to the December 2019 update for Maximum Pew Pew. So, few days until New Year's, so congratulations for making it this far. I believe in you. I have believed in you. I'm your biggest fan, and I'm glad you've made it. Still trying to get over this stupid cough and cold that I was sort of complaining about probably during the last review, and regretfully some remnants of that will be showing up in future recordings, but as they say, the show must go on. But I'm at about 99.6%. If I had to take a stab, I'm much better than I was last month, but still not completely there, and probably won't get there until the weather decides to not be stupid. So, a couple of updates. Let's start with channel updates. Dead Sons continues. We are closing in on the big finale, though. If you are listening along as the episodes release, we began Book 6 on Christmas Day. So, the most recent episode that you listened to was our player starting Book 6. We're going to be continuing until completion on our regular schedule, so every Wednesday night, expect a new episode. We will be having our last recording session for Dead Sons. Let me make sure I suffix that correctly. Our last planned recording session for Dead Sons will be in January, so we are well on our way to completing this particular saga, this adventure path, the first adventure path to be released with Starfinder. I do hope you've enjoyed it. I do believe Book 6 will be a pretty nice ending for everything and everybody, so I hope you look forward to what we put out. If you've been following along with our bonus content, Warriors of Eternity has concluded at this point. So we had 4 episodes of Warriors of Eternity. For those of you who aren't familiar, this is a new game that is being produced by a guest and good friend of the show, Jeff Cullip. For those who have listened, I'd like to thank you for your support on behalf of Jeff as well. Thank you very much for listening in, learning more about his game. If you are interested in Warriors of Eternity, you can check it out at fishinthepot.itch.io. And you can support the current sort of beta rules release as well as the final release that he's been working very diligently on. So, some side stuff. Extra Life will be starting their 2020 campaign on January 1st. So, there's a lot that I've been promoting, but at the same time, there's not a lot I can promote. A lot of that stuff sort of refreshes at the beginning of the year. So I am raring to go as far as promoting Extra Life and Team WV Fox, but it's kind of a time-locked thing right now. However, Max Pew will be releasing some Extra Life content in support of Team WV Fox and Extra Life for the next 4 months, as a matter of fact. So, during our marathon event on May 4th and 5th, 2019, for 24 hours, myself, Matt Smith, and Jeff Cullip ran some role-playing games live on stream. Now, admittedly, once we hit that 4 a.m. mark, the quality diminished quite a bit, and I don't think anybody will argue that particular point. But I would say that we got 16 quality hours of role playing during that marathon event. And not only were we able to live stream it, but I was also able to record it. And I've been working on editing and cleaning that up so that I can get it into a condition that will be suitable for the podcast. Now, the recording conditions were not ideal. This was a open office. It was not sound treated. The doors were open. There was a lot of traffic in and out. There were squeaky chairs. I mean, it was kind of as someone that's used to editing in a controlled environment, it was kind of a nightmare listening to some of the content the first time. But I think there is some really good stuff here that people will very much enjoy. And I am working to get that prepared. Now, the month of January, our first session will be one night only, which was a one-shot I wrote with a Starfinder using the 4th level pre-generated characters. So one night only will be playing throughout the month of January. That'll be releasing every Sunday night during the month of January. So that will coincide with the official launch of Extra Life 2020. So keep your eyes open for the official Team WV Fox Extra Life campaign that should be beginning as close to January 1st as we can logistically manage. So December was sort of busy in some ways and not in others because it's the holiday season. So it seemed like I had less time and more time for particular things, but I've been pretty productive. Got a lot of podcast stuff done. Caught up on Dead Sons editing and getting through the Extra Life editing in preparation for Extra Life content. I know that personal life, there's going to be a few vacations and stuff coming up early in the year, so it is good that I've got some of the Extra Life content as well as a good buffer of Dead Sons available to me. So I'm going to keep that content up. That way everybody's getting plenty of material. That'll allow me to relax a little bit during the next few months. But we are in talks with what to do with our next session. We have talked about which adventure path we would like to do next after we complete Dead Sons. I'm not sure if there will be any hiatus between the completion of Dead Sons and the beginning of the new adventure path, but after having released what will probably be over 100 contiguous weekly episodes, so practically 2 years, we'll see. But I'd like to keep that train rolling, and we'll certainly have the Extra Life content going on. There's plenty to listen to. Maybe much more than you actually can get through in a week. I'm not sure, but we'll do our best to keep that up. But the intent is to keep going with Starfinder material in our main slot, and then so many cool games I've dipped my finger in recently for the bonus content that it's very difficult to sort of prioritize. There's a lot of local interest in Tales from the Loop and Things from the Flood. I've done a lot of reading into the new Lancer RPG that is available on itch.io. I can't think of the username right now, but if you look for Lancer RPG, they do some really cool stuff with mech-based combat and mech customization. It's a very, I feel like a very well-written and deep system, and it gets you into the action pretty quick, I feel like. There's also the Alien RPG, which just had its recent release, so congratulations to Free League for that. I'd also like to thank Free League for gifting Max Pugh a copy of the 40th anniversary edition of Alien RPG that we are going to be using as a prize for Extra Life. Free League also announced recently in one of their newsletters that one of their next supplemental materials for the Alien RPG will be based on Colonial Marines. So that might be worth a look once that releases, but I certainly want to get into it a whole lot sooner than that. So there's a lot potentially on my plate, and it's very difficult to pick what I want to get into first, but such is life. So I feel like I've probably rambled on long enough. I thank you all for indulging me. I hope you all had a very happy holiday season. The next time I speak to everyone here, I hope to have some updated news on Extra Life. We'll talk to you a little bit more about some of the Extra Life content coming out past January, and maybe we can talk about some giveaways. But until then, thank you all very much for listening. Thank you for hanging in there with us. Have a wonderful holidays. Take care.